Today we're making another Filipino dish called Tortang Talong and Tortang Talong with Giniling, which is ground pork. Hi everyone, today we'll be making a Filipino dish called Tortang Talong, or to simply call it, eggplant omelette. We're going to be making a traditional one today, along with one with ground pork, which is giniling. So here are the ingredients we're going to need for our dish. We're going to need Asian eggplant, half an onion minced, 3 pieces of garlic minced, about a quarter cup to half a cup of ground pork. It's up to you on how much you want to put in. I highly suggest not putting too much, because the star of this dish is the eggplant and not the ground pork. So I'll be using probably just a quarter of a cup, and 2 pieces of egg per eggplant. So here's the complete list of our ingredients. We are going to start off by roasting our eggplant. But before roasting it, we're going to be poking some holes on the eggplant using a fork. Just like that. Not too many. You just want it to vent out as it's roasting. And now we're going to start roasting them. We're going to be roasting the eggplants over the stove. So set your stove to high heat and simply just put the eggplant on top of it. The goal here is to char the skin so that we can easily peel it off later. If you don't want to do this, if you don't have a gas stove, you can also boil this. But before boiling it, you should remove the skin. So peel off the skin and then place it in the boiling water until it's soft, then pull it out. And also you can use an oven for this. Same method with the skin on, so when it's nice and done, you're just gonna peel off the skin when you're done. Personally, the advantage of roasting it over fire is it gives it the nice gas aroma and flavor. Of course, you can do it over charcoal also, which is a lot better. So we're gonna be here for quite a while, so don't walk away because you might end up burning the eggplant. As you notice, our eggplant's getting soft. So at this point, continue flipping the eggplant around to cook all sides, and also move them up and down to make sure you cook the rest of the eggplant. So as you see, the eggplant on the top is pretty charred. That's what you're going for there. You can see it's also nice and soft. So that's almost done. We're just trying to soften up this part right here by the stem. And we're going to remove that once that's done. While this one still have quite a way to go. So we're just going to continue cooking this until it's nice and done. Okay, so this is done. You can see it's very charred. That's what you're going for, because it's going to be easy to remove that skin later. So with one done, we're going to continue doing this last one, and we'll be back. Okay, and this one's pretty much done. It's already nice and soft. So we'll pull that out and set both of them aside. Now what we're going to do now is, first we turn off our stove. And we're going to set these aside and let it cool down a bit before we start peeling the skin. Okay, while we're letting our eggplant cool down, we're going to be cooking our ground pork. So in a small pan, we're just going to add a little oil Add in the garlic. Then the onion. Then when it starts to turn translucent, you're going to be adding in the ground pork. Alright, now we can add the ground pork. Again, it's up to you how much you want to use, but I am only using a little because the focus of my dish is the eggplant and not ground pork. Season with a little salt and pepper. Lower your heat to medium. For me, I'm gonna keep this simple, but you can add in bell peppers, peas, soy sauce, oyster sauce, anything you want. But for me, I'm just gonna keep it simple, just salt and pepper. I don't want the flavor to stray away from the eggplant flavor. It's so tempting to add in some soy sauce right now, but I'm trying to keep it dry so that it doesn't get runny when I add it to the eggplant later. So this is done. Turn off the heat and set it aside. Alright, so our eggplant has cooled down a bit, so it's easier to touch now. So what you're going to do is just remove the burnt skin from the eggplant. So remove them until you get just the flesh. So there you have it, just remove the burnt skin. And we'll set this in a plate. So we got our 2 eggs here in a little bowl. First we're going to whisk it. Then we're going to season with a little salt and pepper. Alright, so our egg mixture is ready. Now for the eggplant. So our eggplant, make sure to flatten it. Just like that. And then we're going to place it in our egg mixture. Make sure that's nice and flat. Now we're ready to cook it. So we have our pan here over high heat. Then we're going to add in some oil. Then we're going to add in our eggplant. Add a little of the egg on top. We're going to cook it until nice and brown at the bottom. Then we're going to flip it to cook the other side. Alright, so the bottom should be nice and brown. Next, we're going to flip them. That's the color you're going for. So we're just going to cook it in a couple minutes. Make sure it's nice and cooked. Let's check the bottom. This should be good. So here's the original Tortang Talong. Simple to make. Now we're going to make the one with the ground pork. Okay, on to our next one, which is the one with the ground pork. So again, we place the eggplant on the egg. These are 2 eggs scrambled. Then we're going to put our ground pork on top of it. Doesn't have to be perfect right now because we're going to fix it later when we put in the pan. So now let's cook this. So let's set our pan over high heat again. Now we're going to add in some oil. Now let's place our eggplant and this mixture on top of it. Make sure to add in, spread that pork around evenly. What you're trying to do is trying to make a disc out of this eggplant. And then the remaining eggs, just pour on top of it. Now reduce your heat to medium-high. And we're gonna brown the bottom. All right, let's check if it's the bottom's nice and brown. Yep, that's perfect. So what we're gonna do now is flip it. Then we're gonna cook it until the bottom is nice and fully cooked and no more runny eggs. Okay, so this is nice and done. Let's plate this. So here are our finished dish. We have the original Tortang Talong on the left, which is just a pan-fried eggplant omelette. And we have the Tortang Talong with Giniling or with ground pork on the right. Again, my tip for the one with the ground pork, keep it simple because you want the flavor to focus around the eggplant. But it's always up to you. You can add in anything you want on your dish. And as always, just like any Filipino breakfast, this is perfect with banana ketchup. So I hope you enjoyed today's recipe and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.